It's not uncommon to be influenced by your environment, your surroundings, current activities, or other artists. Nick Geiger comes to mind for his Viking bowls. He has excellent techniques, products, and wonderful demos. I highly recommend you check out his work. I have recently been on a Viking, Celtic, Norse, history show, documentary kind of kick, which have most likely influenced this project. So embrace your inspirations, your surroundings, and experiment, have fun, which is exactly what I've done here. I tried many different techniques, including making good use of my biscuit joiner. It was very cool. Just ended up not liking it for this project, so I changed the design, I've changed the patterns, I've changed the textures. Ultimately ended up with a very naive, basic, simple shape. Sanded it down, liked where the body of this goes, and it really seemed to show off the grain of the sapele wood, which had some nice ribbons. And then I kind of went from there and focused on other elements like the finial, and I had a lot of wood to work with, which was nice because I changed the finial probably about a dozen times. This also included changing the texture multiple times and the color multiple times. I tried wire burning instead of using markers and ended up not liking that either. Oh, and the finial is hard maple. So at this point, I was still undecided on the finial, but I liked the shape of the box and the grain pattern, so I decided to just part off the lid and finish the rest of the body of the box and then come back to the finial later. Here, I'm just using a parting tool to make the lip where the lid is going to sit, and then I switch over to a bowl gouge and just core out the inside most of the way, and I'll check my depths periodically, and then I'll switch over to a box scraper in order to create a completely flat bottom with sides at 90-degree angles. And if you don't have a box scraper, that's okay. You can use other lathe tools to get the same effect. I just create a lot of boxes because it's one of my favorite things to turn, so I have specific tools to do some of the jobs to make it easier. Sapele wood is truly a beautiful wood, really nice grain, and it's similar to turning mahoganies, if you've ever done that. Yeah, sapele is mostly quarter sawn, and it gives it a fabulous ribboning figure, or sometimes a quilted figure, which is why I chose sapele wood for this project. Norse art is known for its use of ribbons. It's still easy to turn and carve. This is a piece of kiln-dried sapele, and I had no problems on the lathe whatsoever. And you can notice here that it has more of an orange and brownish look as to mahoganies that are somewhat reddish brown. For those who want to know, I'm using ACK'S wood paste, and this is a sanding paste that I'm using. I'm not using their polish paste because I don't want wax under the finish that I'm going to spray later on. I'm just darkening the color of the wood to really make it pop. So, as I had mentioned earlier, I had just a few design changes, well, a lot. I changed the shape, texture, form, the scale, and colors, ultimately ending on a thinner metallic finial. And I chose the metallic colors because Vikings are known for their heavy use of metals. Also, I added some intricate detail using my Robert Sorbet spiraling tool. And here's a tip: don't play the horses. Just kidding. Seriously, if you move the bottom support, you can lock the wheel on the Robert Sorby tool, and you can get different textures. You can have solid lines versus separated dots with the wheel spinning. I did decide to add a little flair to the piece by adding a center medallion on the inside of the box. I used a parting tool to make an oversized recess for the insert so that there would be ample room for a black CA glue border. Hope was this arrangement would resemble an old wax seal for letters to give this box a sense of an earlier time. I made one last change to the box. I removed the ball on top of the finial. I decided I wanted the shape on the top to be more elliptical, and then I just finished painting that. Before finishing up the bottom of the bowl, putting my date and stamp of approval on the piece, and moving over to finishing, which would be an acrylic spray. I applied 2 coats of the acrylic spray with some dry times in between and a light sanding. I never ever go more than 3 coats of acrylic spray because it can get cloudy and possibly turn yellow. So hopefully you're inspired by this video and picked up some new information. And as always, stay safe in your shop at all times. Thank you and take care.